Hey, listen, if you in your car, if you with your family, if you in the backyard having a cookout, I need you to turn this all the way up, cause it's about to go live. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me, and the show can't take it away. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me, and the show can't take it away. I know you see the light and how it shines. I'm a child of God, why you look surprised? I'm super fly, I won't apologize, cause I won't get favor, I got flavor. Salt of the earth, I can't lose my savor. Jesus Christ, yeah, that's my savior. Eyes on the cross, I don't see no hate. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Yeah, yeah, I once was lost, but now I'm fine. I won't go. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me, and the show can't take it away. No, no. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me, and the show can't take it away. No, no. I faced a lot of things in my lifetime, but God stepped in at the right time. Picked me up when I was down. Nothing can stop me now. Never see the righteous forsaken. Everything that I suffered has taught me patience. All my help, it comes from you. You're the only one that pulled me through. So refreshed, I've been renewed. Feel like I just can't lose. Joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me, and the show can't take it away. This joy that I have, yeah, the world didn't give it to me, the show can't take it away. No, no. This what I need y'all to do for me. I need you to forget about your problems, grab your loved one by the hand, and take them to the dance floor, cause it's about to go down. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me, and the show can't take it away. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me, and the show can't take it away. This joy, this joy, this joy, this joy.
Hello. No matter how many times I hear that song, it just makes me want to dance. Anyway, welcome to Motivation Moments. I am your girl, Zenja Bloomfield. Normally, Gregory would be here tonight hosting you. But however, since the topic of this show is boss and balanced women dealing with menopause, he decided to toss it off to me since that's a little something I have personal experience with. So before we get started, I want to give you a few quick announcements. New merch coming soon. You can see my sweatshirt that I'm wearing. We'll get back with you. Hopefully by the end of the month, you should see something launching and information coming out. If you haven't already, please check out our books at Sister Pamela Publishing and support us by buying one or more. We've got some new titles that we are working on currently for this year. So stay tuned to see what we've got. Also, I want you to please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook so you can watch great episodes like this one tonight and more. And now I want to get started. This is our first panel of the year, so we're excited to do this meetup. I guess you could say it's a meeting of minds and hormones. So I'm going to introduce to you the ladies that are going to be participating. First, we have Tanika Gravely. She is a board-certified family nurse practitioner, functional medicine expert, and the visionary founder behind TAG Family MP and TAG Turnkey Solutions. She is on a mission to help high-performing women and couples take back control of their hormones, their health, and their energy without the guesswork. Whether she's optimizing hormones or helping fellow providers scale their practices with done-for-you programs and patient education tools, Tanika brings passion, precision, and practical solutions to the table. When it comes to menopause, metabolism, and medicine that actually works, she's the one you want in your corner. Next, Stephanie Lyons. Stephanie is a woman who's lived. Oh, hey, Tanika.
Hi.
How are you? So next I've got Stephanie Lyons. She's a woman who's lived, learned, and leveled up with wisdom earned the hard way and heart that doesn't quit. Standing at the crossroads of faith, family, and fierce professional grit, Stephanie is a certified Christian counselor, seasoned corporate administrator, paralegal, and former business owner. Stephanie brings real-world experience and emotional intelligence to every room she enters. After 23 years of marriage and a powerful chapter of starting over, she raised 2 brilliant daughters and recently stepped into her favorite role yet as a lovey to her grandbabies. Passionate and emotional wellness, relationship building, and the power of second chances, Stephanie leads with honesty, humor, and the kind of insight only life can teach. Let's welcome Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie. Good to see you. Next, we have Regina Nunnally. She's a powerhouse attorney, entrepreneur, and advocate with over 20 years of experience defending justice and uplifting communities. A 2-time judicial nominee, she currently serves as a staff attorney protecting housing rights, and she does it all with sharp intellect and unapologetic flair. A proud graduate of UF and Barry Law, Regina made history as the first Black president of Barry Law's Moot Court Board and continues to blaze trails on multiple boards and bar associations. She's also the creative force behind Nunneryisms Apparel, international author of Boundless Success, and co-visionary of the Man Cave Experience. When she's not practicing law or preaching hope as an associate pastor, she's dropping gems online with Monday Inspirations and Mental Wealth Wednesdays. Her motto, I'm allergic to ignorance, and she means that legally and spiritually. Let's bring out Regina.
How y'all doing?
Hey, Regina. Oh, she got the fan already, girl. Got mine flat.
Hey, listen.
Like this hoodie is hoodieing.
It's real. This is real.
My next guest, Lady Don B, aka Elder Don, is a podcast host on the Bravo with Sheila Network. She has a degree in biblical studies and is building towards her doctorate in that field, along with certification as a life coach and grief counselor. She's a 7-time published author, singer, and poet, and is the CEO founder of Be Encouraged Outreach Ministry. Let's welcome Lady Don. And I'm not sure if she's in just yet. She was finishing up her podcast, so she might be joining. She should be joining us in a few minutes. And last but certainly not least, we have Alonda Kusimo. She's a servant leader, an international best-selling author, owner of Lonnie and Company Network, producer extraordinaire, and our resident straight shooter. Please welcome to the stage, Miss Alonda Kusimo. Lonnie B in the house. Hey, ladies. How's everybody?
Good.
Doing well.
Doing well. Thank you.
Good. See, Regina already had the fan out.
Yeah.
Where the fans at? Right?
Hey, baby, that's the theme song. That's the theme song. I said they created that song just for menopausal women, right?
They did.
You look at the videos on YouTube, you see a lot of older or middle-aged women doing the dance, right? Now, you probably won't ever see me do it. I have 2 left feet, so I'm a few too many steps, but you never know. I may be able to learn a few, right? Or at least that that fan snap, because I like the way that sounds. Right.
We can do a Zoom and practice.
Oh, okay. And y'all promise to, provide grace. Give me grace.
All the
We
time.
can definitely do that.
You know how it is. You know how it is. And I would be remiss if I did not say, just by sheer coincidence, it wasn't planned on purpose. I got my Zeta sisters in the house with me. So, Z5, Alonda, Regina, okay, holding it down. Ladies, it's okay. We still love you. Stephanie and Tanika. Don't worry about it. We still love you. We still love you.
We appreciate that. Thank you for tolerating us. Thank you.
So the first thing I want to do is, just so our listeners can understand the range where we are, because my honey. Good evening, everyone. Hey, honey. I'm hoping I do you justice. So at least he's watching. He's watching. So I want to, ladies, we're going to run this just like it is us sitting in a room together, having conversation, talking about what's going on in our lives, how we're dealing with things. Only thing missing, drinks. But feel free, grab your bottle of water, because that's probably going to be the best thing, to keep you cool. All right. And then, since I know we're all at different levels, I want us to just go through, one at a time, and kind of share where you are on this journey, whether it's perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. And then after you share, we're going to have our resident expert, Miss Tanika, explain to the audience what each phase is, because I learned some things the last time we talked about it. So anybody want to start first?
Yeah, I rock it. So I'm not sure what phase I'm at in. It's news to me. I remember I was in my 40s. There was a lady, like a mother figure to me. I was in my 40s, and I'm 52, so that'll be give you more definite focus point to work from. So I'm in my 40s, and she told me I was perimenopause. I was like, Peri what? I said, why perimenopause? And I didn't pay attention to her on that one, because obviously I'm lifing, right? Mm-hmm. Then I went to my gynecologist to get my oil checked. Okay. And so when I did the testing, he came back and said, Regina, well, you going through menopause? I said, and I didn't even hit 40 yet. I think I was coming. Excuse me, I haven't hit 50 yet. Okay. And so I'm sitting there like, okay. So still, it's not really registering to me, because, I'm lifing. I get up, go to work, I may have an ache and pain here and all. And so I'm not really paying attention to what's happening with my body. And now I'm 52, and I've never been married, no children, far as I know. I've never had to use my Easy Bake Oven as yet. And so I'm in a position right now where, when God do send my man, we're going to have a discussion about family, children, those things. I've never had that opportunity. And at my age, in one spectrum, it's like 52, and I'll be 53, Lord willing, in November. Okay. So it's like, those things bounce around in my head a lot about the how menopause is affecting my body, how it's affecting certain things I would like to do, and experience. And then hopefully that the individual come in my life, he will be open to, or be okay with the fact that, I'm at a stage in my life. One thing he's not going to have to worry about is me snatching covers off of him, have him shivering like he's in Siberia.
And all the covers, right?
Yeah, but one thing he might enjoy be like, if I be like, oh, honey, I got to take my clothes off because I'm hot. He might be going, menopause. So, but I'm probably at the end of the stage. I'm going through the sweats and and the aches and the memory issues. And I mean, that memory issue is real. I was like, I can't remember people I've dealt with. I'm thinking, what is their name? What's the name of that song? I mean, it's crazy. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
So it's funny, Regina, you're talking about that memory issue. I thought it was just, old age, not realizing that it was. And I was kind of like you. I started early. And so I'm still going through it. So I don't know. I was told I was peri, but I think I'm just confused right now. I think my whole menopause is kind of bipolar, because one day I'm freezing in the house, the next moment or the next day I'm hot, don't want the air on 65, don't want nothing. So for me, it's just, I think I'm in a confusion stage. But it was so funny. So I don't know if any of you have seen it, but my sister got her hair done. So she's like in the thick of it, where she's like hot. Like she used to come to my house and be like, it's freezing, turn on the heat. Now she's like, turn on the air. But y'all, she sent me a video. Her smoke was coming out of her head. She was.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, but it's interesting, because I don't know about anybody else, but he alters my attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And so, my husband has this thing, all he says is, oh, my wife. Oh, my wife. Because he knows when it kicks in, don't touch me, don't be near me, no, I don't want no kisses. No, I don't need no blanket. I don't need you to hold me. I need all this space. So, Regina, I don't know about that whole when he comes along. I mean, he might be like, take it off, take it off, take it off. And then again, he might be like, I don't know. So, good luck with that one. But, that's what it is. I don't know if y'all can hear me because I'm frozen. Can y'all still hear me?
We hear you. Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. I'm just froze. See, that's what menopause does. It just stops you in mid-track.
You're right in the track.
In the midstream.
Technical issues heating up those wires.
So I don't know if you want me to jump in real quick, but Regina, when you were talking, if you're going through, so you reach menopause when you've had 1 full year without any periods at all. That's when you're considered menopause. So it has to be exactly diagnostically 1 full year.
Oh yeah.
Then you're considered menopause that one day. And then that day after, you're considered postmenopause. But up until you reach that diagnosis, you can't, effectively rule out any chances of pregnancy. So just keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, Tanika, I'm gonna have you after everybody gets through, explain, where we are, so you can help those of us who are confused about, where we are, because it's chaos is the best word I can use to explain it. Tanika, do you want to say where you are? Or you want to go last?
I can go now.
Okay.
So my experience where I am in perimenopause.
Okay.
I reached perimenopause a little early because I had a hysterectomy in my mid-30s. I had horrible issues where I needed blood transfusions. They did several procedures on me. Nothing worked. They ended up putting me on synthetic birth control, gave me the hysterectomy afterwards, and then I ended up with blood clots in my lungs. And then that recovery lasted almost 2 years. So it was really a roller coaster ride for me. To this day, I'm still on inhalers, and I don't use them as frequently, but I went through like 6 months of Coumadin, which is like a blood thinner. So it was a horrible experience for me. The medical field failed me several times.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
That was my story. Now, I did go through periods of, I still go through periods of where did I put my keys? I know your face, but I can't remember your name. And just, anxiety and things like that. But I'm on hormones now, so I'm pretty good.
Okay. We're going to talk about those hormones. Stephanie?
Hello, everyone. So I too do not know where I'm at. I just know I'm hot. That's all I know. So kind of like you, Tanika, I had a hysterectomy, but a partial in my mid 30s after my second child. So I used my easy bake oven twice. Then I had to have a hysterectomy, but it was partial, so I still had the hormones. So I didn't, I guess, go right into it. And I've just been it's probably been happening over the past, I would say here and there over the past, I'd say 5 to 6, maybe 7 years. But I've noticed, but it just kind of started, it's kind of like if you had gas, but your gas hand is getting close to E, and I get sputters of like night sweats, but then I maybe go for months and not get them again. So I wasn't really sure where I was at, but now it's more frequent. And I could be just talking to someone and I'm just like they're sweat and they're like, "Oh, you okay?" I'm like, "Just give it 2 minutes. It'll pass. It'll pass. Just keep talking, keep talking." So I try not to focus on it, but there's, like you said, times when you just in the middle of the night and you just want to just take everything off, right? The memory part of it, I've experienced, I too thought it was just age. And so I've actually used a supplement. I'm using Huperzine A along with another supplement. I can't think of it and everything that's in it. I know that the ginkgo, I think, is in it, the Huperzine A and a couple of other things. And that really seems to help me a lot because the memory issue was really making me panicky and kind of anxious. I was married, I'm divorced, and so I'm an empty nester. And so with that, like, I don't have glasses anymore, but like if my glasses are missing or something is missing, I don't have anybody else around to scream and yell at and say, "Hey, help me find my stuff." So I was like, okay, I got to do something about this because it's just me. But yeah, it's been kind of crazy. It really has. And I found out that alcohol doesn't help. I found that out at a mixer while drinking the white wine and sweating profusely. Someone said, yeah, that doesn't help. So, they say caffeine doesn't really help. I've also tried like a cream, an estrogen cream that seems to kind of lower like the severity of the hot flashes. It doesn't take them away, but it seems like it kind of lowers the severity. And I had another coworker. We're using each other's medication here.
Well,
She's
Stephanie, I want us to talk about that
okay.
a little later so that everybody can kind of share what they've been using. So I see Dawn is here.
Yes.
So we want to bring Lady Dawn B out. Hey, Lady Dawn.
Hi, ladies. How y'all doing?
I know you're tired from hosting your great show.
It was amazing, but I was like, I gotta get over to my ladies. I gotta come support my sis. I gotta be in the room. So I'm glad to be here. Hey, Alonda. Hi, ladies.
So, Lady Dawn, what we're doing right now is everybody sharing where they are on the journey. So you are actually just in time because I was saving my story for last. So it's on you. Where are you in this menopause journey?
Oh, this menopause life that be lifing, this one. I am definitely out of the perimenopause area. I've definitely welcomed myself, or menopause has welcomed me into its environment. I don't remember accepting the invitation. I think it's really rude. It just kind of did a drive-by. And so, yeah, that part. My history, it was like a little touch and go. I was listening with you ladies in the back. I'm one who I've always had a hormone imbalance to begin with. I found out in my 30s that I don't produce enough estrogen. So we struggled for a while, I didn't get regular periods. I didn't get, like, my body does its own thing. It's some weird kind of doing whatever it wants to do. I went through a 5-year fight with cancer. Thank God I won. So that also, yes, affected my reproductive system. They told me I would not be able to have children, but God knows best, and he has the final say because my son just turned 23 about 2 weeks ago. And since then, my body's always been out of whack, so it's been really hard to tell. So it was like up and down, and thinking that this medication is going to work, and that medication, you take birth control, then you're taking progesterone, then you're taking something else. And I just said, I don't want to take anything else anymore, because one thing is fixing something, but then it's starting something else and throwing my body completely offset. So for the past maybe 2 years prior to now, it was the struggle. I would go having no cycle, and then it would be like, the 12th month and the 30th day, and then on the 31st day, it's like, what? Hey, how are you? And I'm like, hold up, we had an agreement, like I thought we were done here. And so it's just been that kind of journey. But for me, being now having completely shifted into the menopausal side, it is definitely the night sweats. I didn't understand it at first, like what I was like, am I dying? What's happening? Because why am I like, feeling like a wet cat in the middle of the night and having to change or go shower? And am I drinking enough water? Am I dehydrated? Am I having a stroke? Because no one told me. And then the brain fog, the forgetting, the simplest things. Not just what did I come in the room for, but why am I going into the room? Like, why was I even leaving this room? Like, what was I, so it's been that kind of a journey. And I think also the emotions, I don't know if you ladies, like, I find myself to be super sensitive emotionally. Like, the white chocolate commercial always used to make me cry already. But, it's now to the point, I'm telling my age, it's to the point now where, you see a bird in the sky. It's like, oh my God, look at God's creatures. He's just so thoughtful. And it's like, what is wrong with you, lady? Like, it's a bird. You saw it yesterday. But, is it just me? Is it just me?
No, it's not just you. I think we all do it. But imagine doing it at work. And somebody tells a story like, my child has the measles, and you just like you're like, okay, run to the bathroom, get yourself together. But no, it's not just you.
I've cried at my desk. I do customer service. I supervise a customer relations team, and it won't even be, it'll be something so simple. Oh, I couldn't find something. I was just sitting there, and the tears would just, I'm like, what is happening? And I'm the most even-keeled person. Like, the building could be on fire. I'm like, okay, everybody calm down. We're going to be all right. Let's just, everybody just take your time, but if you can't find your pen, I'm like, oh my God, where'd the pen go? And I was like, what is happening? Why am I crying? Like real tears, and I can't stop it. So I that's where I am. So I'm trying to center myself as best I can.
Okay. So hopefully we can help with that through this conversation. Where am I? I want to say I'm in the post stage as well. My thermostat has been broken for sometimes I feel like my whole body is broken. When I started perimenopause, the whole headaches, brain fog, just everything, my body. I have that thing now where I'm cold most of the time. The only time I'm not cold, I go to bed with cold feet, but then I wake up sweating. But the hell that I am in. So you all know that June 7th will be a year that I've been married, right? Yeah. So I just, I recently had to resort to a couple of months ago, some sort of estrogen or hormone treatment. So I do the patch. I really didn't have a choice because I'm 53, and when you're 53 and you move in with someone, no matter how much you love them, no matter how much you adore them, getting used to them being in your space, sharing your stuff, sometimes just breathing can bother you. And Gregory's like, I feel like, what am I doing wrong? Honey, it's not you, it's me. It's me. Lady, I'm crying all the time. I'm already sensitive and love a good show, but I'm crying at a funeral on television like is one of my dearest relatives. And he's just like, what's wrong? Is there anything I could do? No. And I have to fight the urge to be like, leave me alone. It's something you have to deal with. So this has been very trying for me. So I am looking forward to this conversation and finding ways to cope so that I can stop getting on my husband's nerve. Because when I say grace, my husband gives me so much grace. So much. Sometimes I even feel he has sympathy symptoms. That is that much grace. But it's a journey. I do realize that. When will it end? I don't know. Do we know? So I'm looking forward to information. Say it again, Yolanda.
I was saying, I don't think we do, because I think everybody's symptoms are so different. You're at different levels. And, before it could be, okay, well, let me get someone who's around my age, right? Let's get someone who's experienced what I have. And then you find out age doesn't matter.
No.
The journey doesn't matter, because it just depends upon where you are. Because I'm like, Dawn, I stopped. Now, this is what's interesting. I stopped having my monthly visitations. And I was like 18, but I still had kids. But I was like, Dawn, out of the blue, if I worked out, it would say, hey. But if I didn't work out, it was like nowhere in sight. But I still had 2 kids. And so I was like, the monthly visits weren't mathing. And so when it came to me, and I was like, Dawn, the doctor was like, you're in perimenopause, give it 12 months. If you don't get a cycle, then you've crossed over the Perry bridge, right? and it's still, because as soon, I swear, I think it was like 12 months and 28 days. And the Perry, and then the monthly visitation would say, hey, and it would only be there for like 30 seconds. But so the fact that it was there. So I don't know. I mean, I hear all y'all talking about you took medicines, you took this. So you have to know my husband, Jesus' half brother, who doesn't believe in medicine. So, it was like, you just got to pray it down and you got to fight against it. I was like, these hot flashes is not trying to hear that right now. But, I'm interested to know what naturally can happen, because I can literally, sometimes I'm driving and I'm like, if my tent was dark enough, clothes be off, clothes be gone.
Yeah.
But, it's, I don't know. So it's just
Lonnie, it's something that you said that I wanted to just chime in real quick. I'm 53 as well. And I had an aunt, she's passed away now, but I remember when I was a kid, she was in her early 70s and still spotting.
Oh, wow.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Sorry.
That's so disrespectful.
Sorry.
Might not be you. Tanika, you want to talk to us about, like, you started in with the different stages or phases of menopause, and maybe something about, I guess, the time and what it may look like?
Yes. So menopause usually happens between like the ages of 51 and 54. For Black women, it can happen a little bit sooner than that. And you'll have about roughly 7 to 10 years of symptoms prior to that. So you can very well start your symptoms in your mid-30s. And because of all the environmental exposures that we have, some people can experience symptoms even earlier than that starts in their early 30s. But like I said earlier, your perimenopausal journey ends after the 12 months. And once you reach that 365th day, and you have no cycle, you're in perimenopause for that day. I mean, you're in menopause for that day. And then tomorrow, the day after, you're considered postmenopausal. The symptoms that you're having, unfortunately, can still linger on. They don't just magically go away because you're now postmenopausal. So, the night sweats, brain fog, bone pain, the itching, anxiety, palpitations, like you name it, it can still linger on. Now, hopefully it does get better over time. I would say what I tell my patients is the earlier, you get your hormones tested, and I'll talk about that too, because there's some providers who don't believe in testing the hormones.
Okay.
But the earlier you kind of get tested just for a baseline, and the earlier you can start replacing those hormones or supporting those hormones, not only is it going to help your symptoms, but it helps you longevity wise. So what you as the patient is concerned with are your symptoms, obviously, like getting rid of the symptoms. What we're concerned with as providers is not only getting rid of your symptoms, but protecting your heart, protecting your bones, protecting your brain, helping you to retain as much muscle as possible as we get older. And that's the reason why we stress starting to replace those hormones as early as possible. Now, there's differences in the hormones. There are, the good hormones, which are bioidentical hormones. And then there's the synthetic hormones, which has more risk. And those hormones are the hormones that kind of scare everyone. There was like this huge study that came out back in 2002, the Women's Health Initiative. And what they did was they started the study and they all of a sudden just halted the study and said, oh, take everyone off hormones. So all the doctors told all their patients, stop your hormones. They stopped prescribing them. And these poor women were just going through all types of symptoms. What happened was they used the population they used wasn't healthy. These were older women who probably should not have been placed on the hormones that they were placed on at the age that they were at. Because usually if you're in menopause more than 10 years, they advise not to start hormone therapy. Obviously, it's a case-by-case basis, but this is what the population that this study used. So they took these women who had cardiovascular disease, diabetes, all these comorbidities, put them on synthetic hormones, and then they're saying, nope, it's a higher risk for breast cancer. No, it's a higher risk for blood clots, cardiovascular disease, and things like that. Then when the study was debunked, it wasn't as loud as it was when they thought that the study, posed all these risks. So that was done quietly. So it's still stuck in a lot of providers' heads that, hormones are bad, don't get on them, you're going to have all these side effects. And that's just simply not true. It's something that your body produces, something that you need. It's something that we all eventually should replace, not only because of symptom management, but because we want to prevent dementia. We want to prevent, you falling and breaking a hip when you're in your 60s or 70s. We want to prevent the number one mortality in women, which is cardiovascular disease, cardiac arrest that will lead to death. So those are the things that we focus on.
Now, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say the other thing I wanted to mention with testing, because your hormones are so erratic during perimenopause, that's why you're having all these symptoms. You're going through highs and lows, and how you said one day you feel fine and one day it's like, okay, who is this person? It's because your hormones are so erratic. It's like a roller coaster. That's the reason why most providers don't bother testing your hormones, because they're going to say, well, they're not really accurate, because one day they can be this number, the very next day they can be something totally different. And although that's true, when you're taking hormones, you still want to get tested, because the goal then is to make sure you're optimized so that you have that cardiovascular protection, that you have that bone protection, and you have that brain protection. So don't let anyone tell you, no, there's no reason, to test the hormones.
Now I got stuck when you said longer than 10 years. Like, you mean longer? Really? Actually longer than 10 years? Like the symptoms, and I wanted to read like the list of symptoms, because I know the reason why we can be so confused with the gamut that these symptoms run. So physical symptoms, these are the ones most women know and feel often at the worst times: hot flashes, night sweats, weight gain, fatigue, sleep disturbances, dry skin and thinning hair, vaginal dryness, decreased libido, joint pain and stiffness, cognitive and emotional symptoms, brain fog, memory lapses, mood swings, anxiety and increased worry, irritability, hormonal and cycle-related symptoms, irregular periods, headaches or migraines, heart palpitations, bladder issues, like
and those are just not even half.
yeah, like that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. And men wonder why, women can be so mean. When you're going through all of that, yeah, it will make you mean.
Well, what about the cortisol? Because I know they talk about your cortisol is higher, and that's why we have the fat accumulation and all that. I've always had a pooch. I've always had this, and it was last year when I started noticing. And I do line dancing, and that's part of my cardio and walking. And they tell you, oh, don't work out too long because your cortisol is going to be high, and then that's going because you're going through menopause. I'm thinking, well, oh, gee whiz. And then I saw something on the internet, I don't know if it was true or not, talking about cortisol can eat your thigh. I'm thinking, what? Cortisol eating people now? I was like it's some arthritis, sciatica, all of these different things. And you're thinking, I wish Eve was in front of me right now, because I would scissor kick her dead in the throat.
Girl, you know what I say?
We
all
that darn fruit.
I've been said, Jesus, hold on for a minute. Me and Eve got some business to handle, because she's just disobedient. We need to do a brain reset.
No, you know what? I imagine having kind of like high school. You get the girl in the bathroom. We need to get Eve in the bathroom, corner her, and go all the way in. All the way in. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So for the cortisol and thyroid are two main hormones that people miss when they're talking about, testing their hormones and replacing hormones. Mm-hmm. So with your cortisol, your body is meant for fight or flight, when things happen. That's a healthy, normal stress response. The problem is a lot of us remain, in that fight, and our cortisol just spikes and it kind of stays there. So that's when we are at increased risk for chronic inflammation, and chronic inflammation is not good for us at all. Chronic inflammation can lead to other things, like I said, cardiovascular disease, dementia, insulin resistance, and things like that. The way you can help with your cortisol, there is a test that you can do. It's a saliva test. And you take this, you just produce saliva 4 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening, and night. And it's going to give you this cortisol line that we look for. So we're looking for a spike so that when you wake up in the morning, we know you're good to go. You're ready to get out the bed, get your day going. As the day goes on, we want to see that down curve. And then ideally at night, your cortisol goes down, your melatonin kicks in, you sleep good at night. The problem is a lot of us don't get that curve. And if that curve blunts and it stays elevated, then that's when we're at risk for all these other things. Now, as far as weight, that's one of the things you're going to notice, especially around the belly area. Cortisol, and then you want to test the thyroid, because that's like the heart and center of your metabolism. So testing the cortisol, testing the thyroid are two of the biggest hormones that you want to look after, especially when you're getting into things like, weight loss resistance. Also, with you working out, strength training is key. So not so much cardiovascular as we get older. We want strength training because we're losing muscle faster every year as we get older. So that strength training is not going to only help muscle, it's also going to help bone. So that's what you want to focus on. Strength training and resistance training, more so than cardiovascular or cardio training.
I feel like they should have facilities for women with menopause where we can just all meet up and work out and vent.
12-step program.
Oh,
yes. Yes, and wherever you fit on the spectrum, there's a room for you to go to, so you don't feel so bad, because I don't even know what melatonin is. Like, I've been taking something for years to even get 4 hours of sleep.
Well, that's what a lot of people take melatonin without even realizing what their melatonin levels are, without checking their cortisol. So it's kind of like you're band-aiding something, and then people will take and be like, oh, melatonin doesn't work for me. Well, it doesn't work because that's not the issue. The issue is something else that you have to tackle. And then your natural melatonin to kick in.
So Tanika, I have a question, and it's not, it's something that is popular now. And, the things that you've talked about, I felt like I was listening to Zenja, those commercials that says, okay, but taking this, and it goes like 30 seconds, it gives you all the side effects. Mm-hmm. When you were talking about all the other things that I think most of us don't really focus in on, like, Regina talked about cortisol, you talked about our weight loss. For that individual who is on a semaglutide, mm-hmm. How does that affect them? Because that is not like how I understand it, it's not like a temporary fix for weight loss. That becomes part of your lifestyle. So how does that work with your hormones when you start going through these phases of menopause, perimenopause?
So it doesn't necessarily have to become a part of your lifestyle. Semaglutide can be prescribed for different reasons. Mm-hmm. Obviously, everyone knows it for a weight loss drug. Mm-hmm. Right? And just to let you know, our body naturally produces GLPs. So you're supposed to use it more as a supportive measure, like as a kickstart. That's mm-hmm. the idea. It's going to help decrease insulin resistance, which at the end of the day is going to help your hormones. It's going to help with weight loss. At the end of the day, that's going to help your hormones. So it's gotten a bad rap only because so many people are abusing and misusing it. Overall, I think if you're someone who does have weight loss resistance and you have like maybe a bit of a food addiction, or you just need help with that kickstart, I think that the GLP-1s are a great help and assistance. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's something that you should be on long term. And I think that while you're on it, like, for example, my patients who are on it, I have a metabolic program that they have to go through. They're not just on GLP-1s. Mm-hmm. So they're learning lifestyle. They're learning nutrition. They learn about their hormones. They learn about their sleep. They learn about endocrine disruptors in their home. So it's a full program so that they're getting educated. And we don't really focus so much on like counting calories and things, because who's going to do that every day, all the time? You miss a day, you're going to be like, oh, I'll start tomorrow. Oh, I'll start next week. And then you kind of fall off, and then we're back at square one. We really focus on healthy plates, portioning your plate just by vision, just practicing things like that. So with the GLP-1, the other thing is people are concerned with muscle loss. So you're not actually losing muscle because of the semaglutide. You're losing muscle because you're losing weight so fast. So it's like it's not a direct cause and effect, but it's because you're losing weight so fast, you're going to lose that additional muscle. So that's called sarcopenia. So you have to, it's really important to, again, focus on strength training and hydration and things like that. And protein intake is huge when you're on semaglutide. But it's not something that I think should be frowned upon, and it's not something that's meant for you to be on lifelong. Now, there are some patients who have autoimmune diseases or like rheumatoid arthritis, chronic pain, you know, things like that, that they'll get microdosed to help with other things, but not necessarily weight loss. So there's, you know, a lot of off-label uses that people use the semaglutide for.
So now here's my last question, then I'll turn it over to the other ladies. So you just said that the GLP-1 helps with your hormones, helps with balancing back out. So does that mean that there's a possibility that you could be in perimenopause and have a baby?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. With or without the GLP-1.
But is it more prominent? Because so I didn't want to say it, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. So there's like this room that says they had an Ozempic baby.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people, I keep saying patients, but a lot of women who especially has like diagnosis of PCOS, and they think like, oh, I'll never have a kid, and they start, you know, Ozempic, Wegovy, any one of the GLP-1 medications. A lot of them do end up pregnant because that medication helps to decrease inflammation. That's one of the big factors in PCOS is inflammation. When you decrease that inflammation, you kind of get things rolling again, and they can ultimately end up pregnant.
Wow. This conversation has me feeling like we need help just for being a woman.
I'm struggling.
Run me my money for all this extra suffering I got to go through. Peace money. Give me my peace money.
Ooh, no, Get somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to do
that
it.
Part, which brings me to a lighter point real quick. So ladies, what is your time frame you would say from going from peace to petty? Because I think I've probably done it in about less than 2.3 seconds.
Not long.
Yeah.
I'm petty confident. Yeah.
Petty confident. I'm still in that one.
For me, yes.
Like it does not take long. Now I can, go just as quick as I went, to petty, I could reverse it and go right back. But it's like you have, trying to be mindful all the time of check my emotions, and I have so many conversations with myself in my head that I'm tired before I even say anything, because I've gone back and forth with like, what is that going, is that a real feeling, or is that the hormones making you feel some kind of way? Like it's a challenge.
I think
go ahead, Regina.
I think one of the keys is that we just have to know our bodies, and I think over the in the past they made the old schools they kind of made you feel embarrassed about your body, and so with these changes going on in puberty, and then going through that, and then the change as they call it, and so I think it's a key. It's a key. It's important for us to know our bodies, to kind of know what we gauge, because I was a criminal defense attorney for 20 years, assistant PD. So stress level, toxic environment, because it was like a rev. And then when I transitioned to where I am now at legal aid, I didn't realize how I don't know how stressful the situation was that I was in. And so I was used to a certain kind of way of operating. And so I said, okay, I know I'm good. I can go in the courtroom and I can stand toe to toe with the best of it. But last year we were on our way to Philadelphia, and we went the back route, and we crossed the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. That bridge, I was driving, and I was like gripping the wheel. I had this fear come across me, and it didn't help though. About a week or two before that, that barge hit the bridge. It looked just like the one we was on.
Yeah.
And so I had all these thoughts in my head, and I'm just gripping. I'm thinking, okay, Regina, this is not you. This is not your normal way. I've crossed a bunch of bridges, but that one, I was nervous, and it didn't help. Everybody else in the car was nervous too. But I'm usually cool, calm, collected, have things on lock. But that one, I was like, I've never been so nervous, and so I had so much anxiety. And I'm like, this is crazy. I mean, the bridge like it would never end. And I was like, this is too much. And so, yeah, so that's when I realized, I said, yeah, that wasn't normal for me. But I give myself grace. I have to give myself some grace because, yeah, I'm not 20 years old. I'm 30 years old. I'm going through a different spot in my life. And I got to give myself grace to, kind of just go through the process at this point and not to feel so bad. But I think it's key for us to know our bodies and to know how they operate. And at this point in our life, not really ignore stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely.
I think when our parents and our grandparents were growing up, like you said, things were hushed. It was put in the closet. No one was allowed to talk about it. No one in the house could know when your cycle was on. No one had a discussion about perimenopause, menopause, or even just your cycles when you were younger. And that spills over because when we're adults, it's like, oh, who do I talk to this? Who can I trust? Or are people going to look at me weird or strange? And I have a lot of women come to me and they're even embarrassed when they talk to me at first because they've never said it out loud. They just said it to themselves. And I find that, especially in our community, there are a lot of women who are just suffering in silence and think that it's just something that they have to deal with. It's just something that they have to go through because it's nature. It's, this is our lot. This is what, we're meant to do and meant to go through. But, it's important, like you said, for women to know their bodies and recognize that things are changing, but you don't have to suffer through that change. There is help. And even if it's something that you're not comfortable with, as far as like just replacing your hormones, at least just get the education so that you're aware. That's the biggest thing, is just getting out awareness, and talk to your daughters, talk to your nieces, your sisters, younger women that you're around, so that it becomes a normal conversation for them as they age. And it's not something that they're just hit with in their 30s and 40s and 50s.
Yeah, it's important that we know our family history. I know learning mine, that the women started really young with female issues. So, now that I have a sister who had to have a hysterectomy, early, my daughter has PCOS, I had menstrual issues, which led to me finally having a hysterectomy. Like, it's so important to know our family history and to have these conversations, and not just about the female things, but about the other things that are going on with our bodies. Now, is there anybody, did you guys feel uncomfortable when you had to have that conversation to your with your doctor? Because a lot of times you'll go to your doctor and you'll say something and they might make you feel like you're crazy.
So I actually have an appointment coming up in June next month. So this conversation is so timely. So I wanted to ask two quick questions to Tanika. One, how does a couple of years ago, I found out I had a vitamin D deficiency. I really felt like my body was literally falling apart. I could not sleep. And I was like, oh God, what's going on? When we tested and found out that I was deficient, and they put me on I think about 90 days of the 50,000 MCGs or whatever. The first night I took that pill, I slept like a baby. That was exactly what the problem was. So if you can kind of talk about the importance of vitamin D, and because women of color, people of color, don't really take that seriously because we tend to stay away from the sun. And I was told our skin, because we have the melanin, is kind of like tint, like auto tint, right? you don't want the sun coming in, but we do need a certain amount of sun. And if we don't get it, it actually harms us. So if you can chat about that. And then the other thing was, I'm really interested in talking to my doctor about bioidentical. I heard about that decades ago. I want to say Suzanne Summers was kind of like the trailblazer for that. And I know that not all insurances will cover that. So if you can like touch on that, kind of talk about that, maybe some of the best places to go to get more information. Yeah, if you could fill me in, I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah. So with vitamin D, it's funny. Vitamin D, even though it's a vitamin, it thinks it's a hormone. It acts as a hormone. So it's very important. A lot of us in America, especially, you know, in the colder states, are vitamin D deficient. If you look at lab ranges, most lab ranges will say, you know, anything above 30 and you're fine. And then your primary care provider may look at that and you may be 32 and they'll be like, nope, you don't have a vitamin D deficiency. But that's not an optimal level. Mm-hmm. So usually I try to get vitamin D between like 60 and 80, somewhere in there, because that's when you'll be optimized. And how I said earlier, things are like a domino effect. So you get that optimized and everything else, you know, will actually come into place as they should. If you're taking oral vitamin D, it's important that you take it with K2, because what happens is calcium follows and the calcium will build up in your bloodstream. And that's going to cause things like atherosclerosis, which is like hardening of the arteries. You want that calcium absorbed into the bones and into your teeth. So that's going to be something that helps. And magnesium is another thing that will help drive that pathway. So vitamin D.
Those are things they don't typically tell us so much about is our vitamin levels. Because I took vitamin D for a long time as well for issues. Then I found out, you know, my magnesium is low, my B12 is low. I have to take something for cholesterol because at my last mammogram, now there's calcium in my muscle tissue or something on my chest wall. So like what's the best way to get your doctor to run those, you know, those labs so that you can check those different things?
So you just need to advocate for yourself, honestly. But the thing is, a lot of us aren't educated enough to know what to advocate for. Mm-hmm. And a lot of us don't know what to ask for, and the doctors never ask the right question. So that's where that break is. But if you go in and you say, hey, can you run X, Y, and Z test for me? This is why I want it ran. They're either honestly are going to say, sure, I'll do it for you. Most of them don't mind. But then you kind of have those old school doctors or practitioners, I should say. I don't want to make it sound like I'm targeting doctors. But you'll have those old school practitioners who will be like, you don't need that. It's fine. You're fine. You know, they may even, regardless of what symptoms you're having, for whatever reason, they think a depression pill or anxiety pill is going to cure all, and they'll just write a script for that and send you out the door. So you definitely have to advocate for yourself. The other thing with vitamin D too, just in case anyone goes out and buys it, make sure when you take it, you're taking it with food, because it's fat soluble, so that it helps to absorb. So make sure that you are taking that vitamin with food. But
Tanika, if I could just chime in real quick, when you were talking about the vitamin D, mine was at a level just a little bit below like what it was supposed to be. And I felt like I was falling apart, y'all. She's not lying. And I'm better at like a 60 or 70. So if they tell you that you're okay and you still feel bad, don't trust it.
Yeah.
Do not trust it. So yeah, she's definitely right on that. And I take it with the K2. So yeah.
Yeah, that's very important. So again, just if you're hovering around 30, a lot of them look at lab levels and they'll say, nope, you're fine. But just know that those lab levels may not be your baseline. So just because something is a certain number, you personally may need to be optimized higher to meet whatever baseline, you know, matches your individuality. So that's something that you have to keep in mind too. And that's something that you can tell them, because a lot of them will not touch anything unless it's low. Even if it's mildly low, they'll say, oh, it's just a little low. It'll be fine. No, don't go for that either.
Don, did you want to chime in?
No, I'm still like a little offended about Eve and this whole process. You know, I'm kind of stuck there for a minute. But I would just say I agree with all that's being said. I know for me, I had to have that palate platelet done with all of my hormones and all of that. And it wasn't until I actually had it done recently, over the past years, that I really trying to figure out what is happening and how to balance out my body, because nothing was working. And, I had to laugh when you brought up the vitamin D, because when the nurse, when she called to tell me, it's the results and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, let me ask you something. She said, do you go outside? And I said, yeah, I go outside. Like, what? She was like, do you go outside for long? Like, do you what? Like, are you in the sun? Do I go during the day? And I'm like, yes, I work. Like, I leave my house. I'm like, what? What are you getting at? She's like, we have to put you on a prescription for vitamin D because yours is so low, and not realizing that was why I was so tired and lethargic and everything hurting and just not feeling. And I had to take it. I still take it like once a week. I still have to until we get where we need to be. Like you said, because when I realized that when I don't, I go back to feeling how I was feeling. And you do have to. I love the point of grace that was brought up earlier. We have to give ourselves grace in this season, because one thing I realized, I'll be 56 in 6 months, and I am learning me and my body at this stage, and we're going back thinking, we've been so accustomed to our 30-year-old body or our 40-year-old body and the things that we could do. And it's like, no, you cannot move like you used to. Like, it's not, your mind may want you to, but your body, the needs is not like, you go ahead. I'm going to wait right here, and it's the adjusting to really where you are right now and embracing and accepting it. Is a struggle, but we do have to give ourselves grace. And I had to realize I don't know my body now. I have to learn my body at this new stage, in this over 50 stage, at this menopausal stage. What does that look like? Like, where am I now? And not expecting me to still feel like I did when I was 30, because we're not. I have to find what's normal for now. And it's just learning to understand, learning to understand and embrace where we are. And I'm really glad that you're having this conversation, because we do have to normalize information and not being afraid to get information, not being afraid. You only know what you know. You don't know what you don't know, but if you don't ask and keep asking till you get the answer that makes you feel satisfied, that makes you feel like you have something to work with. So this conversation is so, so very, important and key, because Lord knows when I first started going through this, and then the hot flashes and the night sweats, I was like, I did not know there was such a heat that ever existed, and that it was within the walls of my skin and could not come out. It's just,
yeah, they say if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. But what do you do when it's and the kitchen is within you? Like, what?
Kitchen, right? When you're in the kitchen,
you can't get out the kitchen. You want to get the kitchen out of you, but
there's no amount of water that's fixing that. I don't care how much you drink. But information.
I thought about what you said with it being in your skin, and it gave a new twist on what hell may really mean. Just saying.
So to think about.
So, well, if that's it, women, as women, we don't want to be down there. We don't want to do it.
We took our.
Well, my thing is
our team, boss, and balance. One of the things I thought about. So, menopause does not come with paid time off. Mm-mm. So all of us, work, whether it be home or outside of the home. How do you manage life, workplace, and those hormones? How do you deal with it? Because sometimes I know I don't want to do anything. Nothing. I don't want to people. I don't want to people. I don't want to work. I don't want to do any of it. So how do you ladies balance?
A lot of prayer.
I'm going, like she said, a lot of prayer, a lot of patience. I try to just make sure and know in 2 to 3 minutes it'll be okay. But I'm really interested in this bioidentical hormone to see if I can have a solution that's like a once and for all.
Yes.
So I'll tell you the difference between bioidentical hormones and synthetic hormones. So the bioidentical hormones are made from like soy and yam. It has the same molecular structure as the hormones that our body make, so that when we take it, our body treats it as if it was something that we made on our own. With a synthetic hormone, here we go, Alonda.
Yes, with it.
With a synthetic hormone, that is chemically structured. With the equine estrogen, that's made from pregnant mare's urine, so like a pregnant horse urine. And
Stephanie's face.
I was waiting on Regina's face. I was waiting.
Yeah.
so with the bioidentical, like we have
Lord Jesus.
E1, E2, and E3, which is estriol, estrogen, and estriol, estrogen, and estrione. With the synthetic hormone, that has like 30 plus different types of estrogen. So when we take that, our body doesn't really know. It's not a lock and key, right? So our body doesn't really know what to do with all the extra hormone. So then that's when you run the risk of all the risk factors that we talked about earlier. So that's the difference between the two. Some women may not feel good on the synthetic hormone. Regardless of what hormone you take, there is adjustment periods. We try to get you spot on, obviously, but the idea is to start at a reasonable dosage and increase, because it's better to start low and go slow and increase than it is to start you very high and then try to take that away. It's easier to manage starting low and going slow. So that's the big difference between the synthetic and the bioidentical hormones. As far as cost, unfortunately, insurance does not really cover a lot of women's hormone or menopause issues, as they do for males who go through andropause, which is the menopause version for men. So they won't pay for bioidentical hormones. Now, there is like the patch that you're on, they'll pay for that. There is a form of progesterone that they'll cover. I think some insurances cover. But for the most part, a lot of the things are out of pocket. And again, with functional medicine, which is what I practice, a lot of the insurance won't pay for functional medicine because we're mostly preventative medicine, and insurance companies only pay for things that you're actually diagnosed or already going through. So you actually have to wait until you're a diabetic, or you actually have to wait until you have cardiovascular disease, as to where we look at things and we say, okay, these numbers are creeping up. You're going in the wrong direction. Let's tackle this now. They won't pay for that. So that's why our practices don't take insurance.
Wow, that's crazy.
Common sense is not common, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I'm finna go get some yams.
Right.
I'm like, when we end the show, I'm gonna have to go grab my box to read if it's horse urine, or not. I mean, and how much of it, is in the little patch I'm putting on my arm. Mine was free.
Ooh, to get somebody else to do it. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm that right there.
And I just want to say too, just really quick, since we're talking about this, there are different forms of hormones that you could take. There's patches that you put on your skin. There's creams that you rub. There's oral medication that you take. And then there's Troche, these little tablets you kind of stick under your tongue. So there are different forms of estrogen. It's important for you to know that. The different forms that you take do travel down different pathways. So some, medication you might feel crappy on, and then you get switched to a different form and you may feel better. So just know that, just as part of your education, so that you can advocate for yourself if you are going to someone and you're on something. There's also pellets for estrogen and testosterone that's a minor procedure where they stick the pellets in you. Usually lasts about maybe 3 to 4 months, depending on, your levels. The only thing with pellets is once you get a dose, you're stuck with it. So if they dose you too high, you're going to feel like crap for that period of time.
Wow.
So that's one of the downsides with pellets.
Yeah, that literally just gave me the image of an enema, like. Yeah.
Well, and I was going to ask, is that an injection or is it
the pellet?
Yes.
No, it's a pellet. It's a literal pellet, and they make a small incision, and they insert the pellet in that incision.
Mm-mm. And where's the incision?
It's like near your butt cheek, like right on the side of your hip.
The other, I forgot what patch it was, but there was one that went on your hip, on your butt cheek.
The patch, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, with the estrogen patch, you can wear it, some women wear it on their arms, some women wear it, down below here, on their lower belly. Some women wear it on their back. Just don't put it on your breast.
So now the pellet just dissolves into your body, like.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't have it removed?
No. Once it's in, you're just stuck with it. And
oh, wow.
If they overdosed you, you're just dealing with whatever symptoms comes with that. Now, being overdosed is just as worse or just as bad or even worse as having your regular symptoms. So you definitely, if you choose the pellet route, you want to go to someone who knows what they're doing and, who can dose you properly. And so again, it's always better to have a lower dose because they can always add on a cream or something like that.
They need to. So now, is there one that works better than another, or is it based on each individual person?
Each individual person. It's based on what other diagnoses you have going on. You want to make sure that your liver is functioning well. You don't want to be a smoker or alcohol, recreational drugs. You want to stay clear of that. The other thing that you want to look at is, especially if it's like testosterone and things like that, you just want to make sure you don't have history of blood clots. And if you do, why? What's causing those blood clots? Do you have some type of hematological disorder that could be contraindicated? Or is it something that's circumstantial and you got the clot for, like me, I had a clot for surgery, but I take hormones because my clot was situational. So it really just depends on the individual. For example, when Regina was talking about having that anxiety when she was driving over the bridge, things like that, progesterone will help you tremendously. Progesterone is usually taken at night. Some women, it works well. It helps them sleep throughout the whole night. They wake up feeling like a brand new person. Some women take it and it's not enough and they still get anxious during the day and they have to take a sublingual tablet during the day to get them, through that anxiety period. And then some women wake up and they're too exhausted. They're still groggy because progesterone works on the GABA receptors and it makes you tired. And it's too strong for them. So they have to go to a cream. So it really just depends on the individual.
So now, can you take both, the estrogen and the progesterone, or is it one or the other?
No. If you have a uterus, you want to definitely take progesterone with estrogen. If you take estrogen alone, your uterus, your endometrial lining can build, and it puts you at risk for, endometrial hyperplasia or endometrial cancer, things like that. So you definitely want to take progesterone with estrogen. If you don't have a uterus, you still benefit from progesterone. So don't think, don't let anyone tell you, oh, you don't need progesterone because you don't have a uterus, because that's not true.
Okay.
But that's one of the scenario, you know, one of the actual contraindications is if you have a uterus and they want you on estrogen, you definitely make sure you're taking progesterone with that.
Okay.
Tanika, I had a question about the bioidentical again. Is there like an association or an organization where you can go and kind of see where there's some doctors or people that practice that in your state? Is there like a...
So there are different organizations. There is an organization called, there's the Menopause Society, but then you have some doctors some providers in there who, you know, still kind of practice old style medicine. There's another organization that has a provider lookup. It's called BHRT Academy. Another organization is A for M, literally the letters A, number 4, M. They have providers that will prescribe bioidentical hormones.
Thank you.
Okay. Ladies, you know, when we talk with our girlfriends, like we could go for hours. And Alonda, I know we don't have hours. But I mean, like, I'm really enjoying this conversation. Does anybody have any burning questions that they've been thinking about through this conversation that they want to add? No? Okay, so I want to know, how has menopause changed the way you dress, whether it's at work, whether it's going to events, outside, whether you just lounging around the house? Like, tell me, how does it have you dressing? Y'all laughing, but
no, I mean it's like more so for me because my office is cold. And so I'm always wrapping myself up. I don't know why my old office was cold. My new office was cold. It's always cold. And I'm in Florida, so I think you prefer cold over it being burned up. But it's really going to sleep. It's the bed for me. You know, I don't want nothing around my neck. I don't want nothing around my stomach. It's the bed. It's the attire for the bed. Because during the day, you know, when I used to go to court a lot or whatnot, it depends on what fit. But not to me, it's more the attire for the Betty Bye. That's what concerns me because I'm trying to be as comfortable as possible.
Mm-hmm.
gotcha.
Well, it has definitely turned me into someone who everything has to be comfortable. I agree. I really don't want nothing touching me at all. Just nothing. If I could wear a muumuu, and I got to bling out some muumuus or something, because I gotta have some shine somewhere. I'm just a rhinestone girl, so I gotta bling it out. But if I could have them and just wear them all, because I don't want nothing touching, like just don't touch my skin. Just don't do it. So I find myself with being like the leggings queen, because it's the closest thing to my skin that doesn't feel like something's touching me. Jeans are my absolute enemy, although I used to love them, but I can't do it. They're just heavy, and I get depressed looking at them. It's the t-shirt. It's close to, all right, I'm gonna just be me. I want to be as close to half naked that I could possibly be without getting arrested. When I leave the house. I want it to be borderline indecent exposure, but enough coverage to still be saved, because you just never know when something's happening. You don't know, and I got to be ready for the hot flash. Everything else I'm not worried about. But it definitely has changed how I find myself thinking of outfits more so now when I'm going somewhere, like, let me get something with no sleeves, but then let me get a sweater or a scarf, something that I can, it's the layering, or just nothing. But I agree, at night, I don't want anything to touch it. Just like, I don't want the air to touch me. I just don't want it. It's just not a thing.
The air.
Just no.
So I agree with Dawn 110%. Thank you for going ahead and just saying what you had to say. because the little shorts. Remember back in the 70s, the little shorts that had the little white line.
Yeah.
So I have, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, got
So
'em.
those is real high, and then like a tank top, or like if I'm going to work, I wear a lot of these. You see, they don't have the shoulders. I had on a jacket earlier, the layering, so you could take it off, but it definitely has to be as close to your natural birthday suit as possible. Just even around the house, it just doesn't matter. Yeah,
Especially around the house.
exactly.
Were you going to say something, Alonda?
Long and loose.
Long and loose.
Maxi is my friend.
Yeah, nothing tight.
If I'm hot, I can raise it up to my thighs.
Yeah.
When I get cold, I can drop it down to my ankles. Long and loose.
Real easy.
I think about okay, I'm supposed to date myself. I had the chick jeans and I wanted to sew them up where they were tight on the ankles. Now it's just like I need as much to breathe. I need as much space where air can breathe through, air can flow through. And so I say long and loose now. Those that know me know some fabrics that women have is just a waste of fabric. I don't understand why we use them. I don't understand why we have them. I don't. That's just a waste of money to me. So, and more so now, it's just long, loose, and free.
Yeah.
Long, loose, and free.
What's yours, Tanika?
Cotton, loose and cotton, and leggings.
So now Regina said at night, it's the nighttime thing. Don said the same thing. Stephanie, you said about the shorts. Now, I have been where you got the shorts on, you got the tank on, and you thought you were good, but you had to come out of that. And you're out of that and you're still hot.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? Where y'all going? What we doing? We grabbing our fan? What we doing?
Girl, I got a fan. I have one of those tower fans. So if you done came out of that, I'm in front of the tower fan like this.
So you want to know a trick?
I'm at.
Looking like Jesus.
Yes.
I'm oh boy, I'm sacrilegious. No. But
No.
So let me tell you a trick. When you're having a hot flash, keep like little zip bags. You could put a little water in there and make little ice packs. You put one here under your armpits, one of your groin, and you'll be good.
Ooh, I'm glad you said that, because that's where I end up in the freezer.
Yes.
The door open and trying to get my head and anything else I can get up and like.
A lot of my patients will open a refrigerator and just stand there.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So Tanika, how do we make this work friendly? You got me with the bag. Like, am I sewing this into my clothing? Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm trying to get all of the gems.
You would be prepared.
Yeah. Like, what are we doing?
I haven't figured that out with the bags yet, but
I need you to break it down. I need you to be raw. Because trust your girl is going to do it. Trust me.
get yourself a mini fridge. Just get yourself a mini fridge and lay down.
Yeah, I'm like Regina, have a traveling, look, somebody needs to invent a traveling refrigerator for the woman.
Hey, so you can carry your little
or at least just those like special like menopause material where like maybe under those armpits and in those spaces that it actually cools off, kind of like those pillows that cool off in those like places, and you're wearing it.
Oh yeah,
and it's heat activated. It's heat activated. When you start sweating, it comes on.
It picks in right.
That's
it.
I like that. It's like the little fans I'm seeing people wear around their necks.
The fans
that cool them off.
Well, they got the fan, they got the hat fan, and
they got a hat fan.
But the bamboo sheets don't work.
Oh no, bamboo sheets, bamboo pillow. No,
you could try the
sheet slide, like
That's why you wear long and loose, and you have inside pockets where you can put the little coolers.
You gotta use the little blue. Remember when you were? I don't know if you remember. You were little when you used to have the little igloos, and they had those little blue ice packs you had to put in the freezer.
Yeah,
You-
For the lunchbox.
That's right, because those stay all day long. You need a bunch of those in your lunch bag, the cooler lunch bag, and that way you just stick it and you're good. Nobody see it, you're fine. That's for use.
I got some of
And
that in
then
my
use your,
fridge.
use your pen if your underarms get wet to just, right.
Now we just gave a whole new meaning to the breastfeeding room at work. Now you're gonna have the menopause room.
Menopause room. That's a good idea.
I mean, why not? It's a thing, right?
Menopause room that just stays cold and nice.
Because I can only imagine a man who has to work with a female counterpart that's going through it at work. I know he catches it. Oh my God. I know he catches it.
He better stay silent and out of the way. That's all. Save yourself, sir.
Baby, because she giving them a look.
Yeah, and do not say nothing. Don't tell nobody. Suffer in silence like us.
That's right.
And get out of my way.
That part.
I know, like for me at night, you know how when you're next to somebody, you want to cuddle, but you just can't. You can't do it, and it's hard to do.
Because you're hot, their body feels like an oven. And it's just like you just took me from 350 to 550, and it's not working. So, and that's sticking the one leg from under the cover.
Yeah, that
no.
The one good leg. It's always the
one good leg went out the window.
Well, that kind of works for me. I do stick my foot out from underneath the covers, and that does help me.
And how many times you end up doing that in the night?
I lost count.
I know you like out, cold, out. Yeah, it's a back and forth, never ending. So that makes me think about what's the weirdest advice that you have gotten from somebody about what you can take to relieve your symptoms. I mean, if it's, garlic, drink garlic and ginger, or, garlic in your socks at night when you sleep. Like, what's the craziest thing that you tried and didn't work?
I don't know about crazy. I know people talking about take that black cohosh.
Black
cohosh. I went and bought some menopausal tea from the health food store, and when I drink it, it felt like the menopause got angry. It started fighting me. I stopped drinking it. I was like, this is making it worse. Good thing it was on sale.
Okay, look, let me add that to my list. No cohash. Don't do that.
Regina, you got.
The menopause got mad. I'm like, you want to argue with me? Oh. I stopped drinking it. I was like, good God Almighty.
Not having it. The menopausal tea didn't work either.
No, I was drinking. I drank it about twice, and it was ramping up stuff. I said, no, I don't want it to ramp up. I don't know if it's like, how people take a vaccine and it causes your body to have those symptoms like the flu shot and all that. So I don't know if that's what it was doing. I said, I don't need your help. So, dang. I mean, that's my story.
Sea moss didn't work for me.
No sea moss either.
Sea moss didn't work for me. I did try ashwagandha. I don't know, Tanika, if there's any truth to that.
Ashwagandha is more so for like anxiety, and it's not really actual menopause symptoms. It's more if the anxiety is caused by menopause, but it's more just for it's like an adaptogen for like cortisol and anxiety and things like that.
Okay, so no ashwagandha.
So it's trying to help you with your hot flashes, basically.
Yeah, I want something that I can just take the one thing and it's all the symptoms. Not, well, you take this and it'll impact the moodiness will go away. You take this and you want to have a hot. Like, I want one thing I can do that's going to relieve all the symptoms. I need to think of everything all together. I need it all together.
When you find it, let us know.
Huh? I'm gonna look because I lost my my car key maybe about 5 months ago. I still have not found it.
Oh,
I cannot.
wow.
So I
Wow.
need something that's going to work for my mind, because there's nothing like crying and getting upset because you cannot find something.
So
honestly, with you and you saying that, and you said that you wore estrogen patch, you
Mhm.
may need to be optimized more. Your
Okay.
estrogen, it doesn't sound like you're getting to the level that you should be at.
Okay. So I would definitely mention that.
Yeah.
Gregory,
will that help, or does she need like an additional? Because like I was saying, I take the ginkgo and the what is that the huperzine A, and it seems to be helping. Could she benefit from taking both with the estrogen?
So are you on progesterone too, or just
No.
No, I use a cream over the counter, and I got a patch that a coworker gave me, so I'm like undercover stuff until I can get to the doctor. Yeah. I gotta live,
You know,
y'all. I got
relief
work,
by
I
any
gotta
means
live.
necessary.
Girl, I'm borrowing folks' medication.
Oh,
I'm glad that y'all are tickled, but I am so dead serious. I am serious.
she said I'm borrowing.
Hey. She sent them to me from Georgia. She came all the way here. She brought them here.
I do not approve that message.
I
Honey,
know.
I'm saying this just for you. I do not approve that message of sharing someone else's medicine.
I know.
Oh my,
I
that's a
needed
crime.
something. I needed
So the
something.
only downfall with that,
going on over there.
they go to test your hormones. They're not going to get an accurate level because you're taking hormones, so they don't know, where your baseline is. So you have to tell them so that they don't think that.
Girl, I'm 3 weeks out. I can stop.
Well, stopping in the process don't hurt nobody while you going through withdrawal. Look, while you going through withdrawal, don't hurt nobody.
Back off it easy. Back off it easy.
That part.
You have some PTO time? You have some PTO time?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
She got to go and hide it.
You got a detox now. We need you to be at home.
Oh Lord, you got to do an intervention.
But what about collagen? Because I think my mom is like, I don't know if this is just her new fad that she's on. She swears collagen is good for everything in the universe. So she's like, no, just take some collagen. It'll help you feel better. I'm like, Mama, you said it'll make my hair grow. You said it'll make my nails grow. You said, it'll give me superpowers. Like, I think she's just stuck on collagen right now.
You didn't try it, Don?
No. Because I didn't trust where my mama's going to be 81. So, she been out of this bucket for a while, but she's stuck. It was like her new thing, so it's like, Mommy, collagen it's not going to fix everything. It does. I hear you, but it's not. So she said, no, for menopause is good. I was like, okay.
I need to know about the collagen.
I take marine collagen on a daily basis.
Marine collagen.
You take marine collagen?
Marine.
Okay.
What else do you not? What do you not take, Stephanie?
Girl, you see why this conversation is real important to me.
Ma'am, hello, Mr. Jackson. Ma'am, really?
We're going to give her an intervention. When this is over, we have an intervention happening for you. Have to.
I want to see your medicine cabinet.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Regina, what's your retainer?
And I have a little
retainer.
All of my medications.
What's your retainer?
On a daily basis.
We can't hear you, Stephanie.
You have a what?
You take what on a daily basis? Something about a container.
I have a little plastic baggie that I stick all of my medications. No, I am too young for a pill container. So I know that makes more sense, but I don't want that. And I put them in a plastic bag. I probably take about 10 pills, 8 to 10 pills a day between vitamins and collagen and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm with you there, because the different vitamins, multivitamin, magnesium,
the vitamin D,
B12,
but the collagen helps with the skin. It definitely helps with the skin, but menopause no more.
Because all I take is an Equate allergy pill every morning.
Really?
That's it.
And that works for you?
That's all I take.
I wish.
Have you had your labs checked for like your nutrient levels?
Yeah, and they're fine. The only thing is my protein.
Well.
But everything else was fine. Now my body doesn't say that. But
Was
the
it
left one
fine
said,
or was it optimal?
huh?
She
Was
said,
it
was it fine
fine
or was it optimal?
or was it optimal?
Girl, I don't know.
You know, when you get the test results, you know they got that bar. Was it on the
Oh,
right
oh
side
no,
of the bar?
I was in the middle.
Ooh.
You know, I was
You
in
were
the middle.
mid-range.
Yes.
Alonda, you gonna have to get your pill weight up. You're gonna have to get your pill weight up. That's what you gotta do.
I'm not trying to be Stephanie. No,
I'm gonna
ma'am.
need you at least get a multivitamin.
Right.
At least
You gotta come to that sick. Is it
I'm like this. I'm like,
kind of get your one pill? Well,
once you start putting stuff in your body, I think your body now, it triggers something else. And so you need another pill. And then you end up with 10 pills like Stephanie. I
Go
just
get
take
some
equate
yams.
allergy pill. That's it. That's all I take.
Go get some yams.
Now I will tell you now at about 3 o'clock at work. I hope ain't none of my coworkers out here. They'll find me like this.
See, if you took your collagen, you wouldn't be like that. See?
Ma'am, I don't, but no, I'm serious. So maybe I need to look at something, Tanika, because I told y'all, I'm married to Jesus' half brother. So he doesn't believe in medicine at all. And Zenja, we've been down that road. He doesn't believe in no kind of medicine. So,
wow.
but I've never been one who's been a pill popper. I haven't.
So think of it this way though. Supplements and nutraceuticals are not pills. You know, they're not like synthetic pills that you're taking. So when you're looking to advance in wellness, you always want to start off with like lifestyle and nutrition. You want to use food as medicine. So that's the foundation. And then from there, you may need supplementation for, you know, certain things. It is, like we said earlier, individualized. So, you know, you and I can be eating the exact same meal and it can be a healthy meal, but our bodies could be absorbing it differently. Or, you know, you may have more inflammation than me, or I may be insulin resistant, or, you know, so there's things that will make a difference, but you can definitely focus on food as medicine, lifestyle, and, you know, things like that first. And then you may need supplementation, and there's nothing wrong with supplementation. Even with that, you know, sometimes we may even need medication, but we save that for last.
Okay.
Do you have a good nutraceutical brand that you like?
I was going to ask that.
There are several. And it really depends on what the supplement is. So like some of the supplement companies, I'll just do that. Some of the supplement companies that I do use frequently, one is called Designs for Health. One is called Orthomolecular. With Orthomolecular, you have to have a provider prescribe that for you because it's pharmaceutical grade. Metagenics, Nordic Naturals are good. So those are some of the ones that I recommend for my folks.
What was the last one?
Nordic Naturals.
I actually take my D3 with K is Metagenics.
Metagenics.
And so no one ever told me about the D3 with the K too.
Yeah.
I'm like all those years I was taking the D3 and it really wasn't doing it was actually doing harm because now of the calcium buildup, but they should tell you that.
Yeah. And make sure you take it with food and not on an empty stomach so that it, you know, that'll help absorb it as well.
See, now I feel like I'm the oddball. Now I guess I do need to step my pill game up. I take one pill a day. I take one a day.
And so, for example, because you have allergies, you're likely inflamed. You have inflammation. So that's, you know,
But that's what I take ginger for. I eat ginger. Well, I have ginger and garlic. I eat a small piece every morning.
And turmeric? Do you try turmeric now?
Or like cardiovascular too. Like that's going to help with cardiovascular, but it doesn't really focus on like overall inflammation. That's going to be diet, lifestyle first. And then for inflammation, it's things like omega-3, or, you know, if you eat like a lot of omega fatty foods like fish and, cotton, things like that.
Mhm. I tell you what I do crave, and I can just eat it straight, is roughage. Romaine lettuce. I don't have to have any dressing. I can just pick it off and just eat it, wash it and eat it. But my body craves roughage.
Oh, wow. I love vegetables, but I can't eat them without going through pain.
Oh,
So
Mm.
yeah, I'm just
right.
I
Well,
love, I love Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, but I'll have to do like 4 Beano to try to relieve the bloating and all. Like it's
Oh, poor Gregory.
like what? So
I know I'm over here like y'all.
I have to take supplements.
Greg.
Gregory executed. He been executed.
So I end up having to take supplements because I'm not able to eat, vegetables and things like I would like to get the nutrients.
But if you notice things like that, they have testing that you can do too. Like when you have symptoms, don't only look for something that's going to take care of the symptoms. Look for actually what's causing, the issue.
I'm trying to. What's the name of that test? There's a test.
There's like my favorite one is called a gut zoomer.
Gut zoomer.
It's going to give you a lot of information on your gut health.
What is that called again?
Gut zoomer.
Zoomer.
Yeah. I can send you all a link to order it. It's
okay. Yeah, that's good.
Thank you. That would be great.
Yeah.
Text message.
Well, they say that your gut is what. Yeah.
Yeah, the gut is your second brain. That's what.
Oh wow.
Okay. So now I'm thinking of a fun way we can end our conversation. So we started and we were talking about that song, what Boots on the Ground, and the one Tap the Fan, that we just love. So if Menopause had to have a theme song, what would yours be? Hip hop, rap, gospel, like what would your song be?
Lord.
It's the final countdown. Oh no.
I know mine. Mine would be, it's getting hot in here. So pick off your
You're saying a song that's out there. Take me to the water. Take me to the water.
That's good.
To be baptized.
Hey,
To cool me off. Cooling water.
Cooling water.
Kool and the Gang is too hot.
Oh
yes.
Come on, Stephanie.
What you got, Tanika?
Ooh, I gotta think of this one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of mine.
New edition.
Cool it now.
Hey.
I know I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong for this one, but I don't know why this song is just in my head from the window to the wall. Like,
oh. And thank you very much for coming to the motivational moments.
That would be the same.
this has been a Lonnie B network presentation.
Really? Did you?
My neighbor was playing that song down the street. Down the street, my neighbor was playing that song earlier today. So that's kind of prophetic, but not.
Gregory said fired by the Ohio players. Fire. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Did you think of yours, Tanika?
I said it. Cool it now. New edition.
So we're gonna let you finish up by telling us about your organization or your practice and how the viewers and how we can get in touch with you, so we can learn more information. I know you also have a Facebook group, so just.
So the name of my practice is Tag Family NP, and I help women who are going through perimenopause, menopause, PCOS, endometriosis, fertility, you name it. I also help couples who are interested in just finding a healthier lifestyle together, or who are on the verge of breaking up and they just want to make sure it's not their hormones that's a big, huge problem in their relationship. I do have a Facebook group. It's called Her Hormones that you can feel free to join. And I also offer programs that are self-guided. So those who want more information to learn about metabolic health, it puts you through a 12-week program that'll teach you about everything from lifestyle, nutrition, sleep, hormones, anything you know that you need to learn that's important, that's going to help you on your wellness journey. And the same goes for women's health, men's health, and fertility. The other thing that I am doing now are deep dive sessions that I can do with anyone. It's a 2.5-hour consultation. I do genetic testing on you. And I also take any labs that you've had recently ordered, or we can get those ordered for you. And we go through a deep dive session so that you learn everything that's going on with you, all of your symptoms. But the biggest reason that I'm doing this is that you learn your why these things are happening. I also give you a tailored plan after that. And then I can give you recommendations for providers that are in your state if you need further treatment.
Awesome. And your
this is the beginning. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say this is the beginning of a beautiful relationship.
Girl, that's besties about to be on speed dial. Like,
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
It is worth the drive or the flight to New York for your deep dive.
Yeah. Well, we do the deep dive can be done through telehealth as well.
Oh, see that?
So you can be in the comfort of your own home in your long and loose.
So, ladies, you heard it. You have no reason not to get the deep dive. Oh, and something else I saw, Tanika, on your social media, win 2 free tickets.
Yes. So I am speaking at a Women of Wellness event next week. And I put that out on social media so that people can enter to win 2 free tickets to attend the event.
Oh, wow.
And my website.
That's in New York?
That's in Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
And the website, if you ever want to get in touch with me, is www.tagfamilynp.com, or you can also find me on all the social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Are you saying TAP, T-A-P? Can you spell that?
Tag, T-A-G. It's actually my initials.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tagfamily.com?
Tagfamilynp.com.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So look, I'm just going in with a funny. I thought you were saying tag NP.
Well, I mean, technically, that's how. Yeah, that's. But it's the letters, not the word.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. That's okay though, Alonda. That's okay. And Stephanie, any last words before we get out of here?
No, this has been so helpful. Like, it is so timely. And I've been warring with the whole bioidentical thing. Some people are for it, some people are against it. And, as women of color, sometimes, we get mixed signal and we don't know who's for us and who's against us. So thank you so much, Tanika, for this information.
Yeah. And now Stephanie she did a show on season 9. So episode 133, just a couple of weeks ago. So if you missed her episode, you will want to go back and watch that. Her version of Boston Balance, and check her out. Lovey.
Yes, thank you. That's my grandmother name. I'm Lovey. I'm not a grandmother.
I just love that. Hey, I didn't see where was that when I chose Gigi?
I was trying to be original, so there you go.
Great choice. What about you, Regina? Any final words?
No, I just enjoyed this conversation, and I hope it encouraged individuals, because I'm all about, like I said, I'm allergic to ignorance. So if you don't know what you don't know,
Yeah.
You can't grow, you can't get better, you won't get the help that you need.
Yes.
The solution is right in front of you, and you don't know it's there because nobody told you. So this was awesome. So
That's
appreciate
right.
you.
And then, guys, Regina is going to be on episode or season, I want to say, what is it? 130, is it 130? 137 right there. So Sunday, check out Regina on Motivation Moments, May 18th. She has a lot of information to share. I just love that picture of you.
That's my
It's
stimmy check. That's the stimmy check pose right there.
it's a beautiful picture. And then Lady Don B.
This has been great conversation. I'm so happy I found my menopause village, my sisters who are connected by this struggle of life. You know, struggles bring us together, but we're going to win. We together. But no, seriously, no, I was serious about that too. But I would just say, you know, let's not be afraid of information. Take the time to learn yourself. It's not going to go away. So ignorance is not acceptable. Let's educate ourselves so that we can show up as the best version of ourselves, you know, and give yourself grace. Find your village. I found mine. Y'all can't have them because they're mine.
Right. And then Lady Don B, her podcast, she's actually on before Gregory's show. So Gregory's at 8, she's at 7. So if you get a chance, you want to check her show out too. And last but certainly not least, producer extraordinaire and resident straight shooter, Miss Lonnie B, Alonda Barber Cusimo. What you got for the people?
All I can say is keep it loose, long, and free. Stay away from the horse urine. And just know that in a couple of weeks, my book is coming out, and it's called Dear God, I Want to Clap Back. And it's a 30-day devotional. So while we're going through the hormone challenges and can't say what we want to say, just turn to this devotional and just say, Dear God, I want to clap back, but I know that you're greater. But it's coming out in a few weeks.
I like that. That's timely for that menopausal pettiness. That's
yes. So there's 3 other books. So there's Dear God, I want to cut back. Dear God, help me with my savage side. Dear God, I want to throw hands in prayer, maybe. Yeah. So those
we're gonna call this the Rage series.
Yeah, so it's for the woman who's you know, we saved but not saved. You know, you got 4 toes in and one that's still on the other side, and you're trying to cross it over to the other. Yeah. So you know.
Ouch.
But it's just to help you to deal with, you know, because like in the clapback book, you have the clapback challenge.
Yeah.
You have the clapback check. So, you know, when you go off because, you know, they want it to be peaceful, but you want it to be petty. Or they want it to be petty, you want it to be peaceful. So all I can say is that I can say the things that you all want to say, but God just chose me to say it, and I can get away with it because he loves me.
And who gonna check you, boo?
That part right there. Oh, yeah. So
ladies, I have enjoyed tonight. This has been a really great informational show. Like, I can't wait to talk to you ladies together, you know, offline. Like, I just really enjoyed it. It's so good to know you're not alone, you know, and just when you think your symptoms are the worst, you find out that, you know, somebody's symptoms are worse. So, you know, you need to just thank God for the blessing of your little, you know, mind fog or whatever it is. I don't get hot flashes, so I don't break out in that sweat. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, big ups to those of you who do. I can only imagine that it's tough, you know, to have to carry a fan and just not be able to control it. But if you have enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube and Facebook channel. Also, you can support us on PayPal and Cash App if you choose to do so. You'll see Alonda's running it across the screen. And